Warehouse management is an extension version of the inventory management, wherein inventory management comes in. It is a part of material management chapter. So actually, in the inventory management, what we do is we will be keeping the material at storage location level. That is what we learned in. That is what mean in inventory management. When it comes to warehouse management, the specific tracking of a material with respect to its location, that is called storage bin location, where the material is stored exactly inside the warehouse or inside a storage location, is nothing but the warehouse management. Warehouse management is simply the stock, keeping of the stock in a specific bin and identifying that material in that specific bin. In simple terms, this is the meaning of warehouse management. That means, suppose, for example, if you take any supermarket, say Walmart or something like that, there are so many rows inside the supermarket. Supermarket can be referred as a warehouse, and each item is identified in a single row. Suppose if you take any eatables, that will be placed in a single row. Suppose it is a crockery item, it will be placed in other row. Like that, that will be managed in that similar fashion. So that when you want to get something, you will simply go to that row and pick your item and come to the billing session. That is what it is defined. That means it is a flexible automated support system for movement of the goods. In terms of, say, when we come into the warehouse management terminology, it is nothing but the goods movement. That is, we are moving the goods from one area to another area. Before going to warehouse management, there is one thing called inventory management, that is a part of SAP MM. We can say it is an interface IM and WM, SD and WM, EP and WM, like that. The major part will be on IM part, IM only. Say, only after the goods movement, the warehouse management will be taking place. Okay, that is the first thing. And the second thing is, between the warehouse also there will be stock. So, when we talk about warehouse management, we talk about goods movement. That is, goods will be moving from there to here. In a complex warehouse, when there is a, say, 10,000 square feet of warehouse is there, you are putting all your material inside that warehouse. Manage or identify a particular stock will be a tedious job to you. To identify at which location or which bin level it is to locate that material, warehouse management is very useful. Let us go for the simple structure of warehouse management. Say, this is the logistics part in SAP. Don't confuse with the logistic part. Say, we can see here in the goods receipt section or goods inventory management sheet, the warehouse management. This is the part of logistics. This is the overall part of logistics. In that logistics part, there is, here comes the warehouse management. I am just giving where the warehouse is in the logistics. Logistics is nothing but the movement of the material inside the plant or in and out of the plant, like that. We can define like that. So inside the logistics, here comes the warehouse management, where we are receiving the material or we are issuing the material. That is only two things. One is we are receiving the material inside the warehouse. Second thing is we are issuing the material from the warehouse. Okay, only two parts of the, only two movements of goods movement will be happening inside the warehouse. And again, in goods receipt or goods issue, we will be categorizing the material movement. These are the business activities that are happening in warehouse management. Say, planning, and the number one is inventory control, how the inventory is managed. that is managed in terms of bills management, and how the warehouse management is controlled, how the planning is taken care of. And these are the various business activities that are happening in warehouse, inside a warehouse. Okay. Now let us go into, say, structure of the warehouse is defined. Means the organizational structure. Where actually the warehouse will come into the picture. Okay. Say here it is the hierarchy of the warehouse management. Say before going to warehouse management in SAP, we will be defining the plants, that is in logistics part. Only after this definition only we will be coming to warehouse management. So in order any company to install or to implement warehouse management in their organization, they have to define plants. Okay, what is meant by plant? A plant you might be studied in that is metal management. A plant is a production location, that means a unit which is producing the final product, a distribution unit, a corporate office, or a sales unit. Anything can be a plant. Okay. Inside the plant, where the material is physically stored, is called a. So when we are then comes the warehouse number. How the warehouse number is defined in SAP is, it is the combination of plant and storage location. Say inside a plant you have, say, several storage locations. Discuss about plant and storage location. Then comes the warehouse manager. Say when we talk about warehouse number, warehouse can be a larger part. Suppose a company, an organization has 10 to 12 plants in its say it has their manufacturing units. All they have a single warehouse where they are storing physically the material required for the plant operations or plant activities. So a warehouse can be a combination of many plants and storage locations. And when it comes to storage locations, we will define like this: physical material where the location where the physical storage of material is happening is called a storage location. Suppose inside a plant there might be n number of storage locations. For example, raw material storage location, chemical warehouse storage location, gas storage location, liquid storage location, final product storage locations. Like that, we will be classifying the storage location inside a plant. This is up to organization to decide which storage location is WM managed. In which storage location we had a complexity, and we need to identify that material storage with respect to bin. That an organization or the business will identify those type of storage locations, and this combination, the storage location and plant combination, is attached to the warehouse number. Here one more point is how the as I said earlier, a warehouse is a central say suppose there are two manufacturing units inside a company. One is located at, say, at Cleveland, one is located at some other part of NA. Say in Cleveland, say there is a wide gap between these two plants. Say there is a, say, 1000 km. Then what they will do is, in Cleveland they will define one warehouse, and in another part they will define some other warehouse. Inside the Cleveland, they will identify which storage locations are need to be warehouse managed. That means they will identify in which locations the material is to be identified with respect to the storage bin. Those combination, suppose here you can see 0001 0088 is attached to 001. Okay, suppose there is one more, suppose if it is a 0001 and 0001 storage location is also WM managed, that can be also attached to. Similarly, the case is for other plant also. Okay, that means the warehouse can be a combination of one plant and many storage locations, or many plants and many storage locations. Suppose it is a 0001 storage warehouse. You have defined one more warehouse called 0002. This plant and this location are attached to 0001. Can this combination be attached to the second warehouse number? The answer is no. Because when we talk about warehouse number, we are physically keeping our our plant combination and storage location combination in this warehouse location only. We are not keeping this plant material in any other storage location. We should not keep. We cannot keep. We can, in other terms. Okay. So this combination will be always for only one warehouse. If this combination will not be for n number of warehouses. Okay. That is the assignment of plant and storage locations to the warehouse. This is the top hierarchy of the warehouse. That is, in the enterprise structure, we are defining these combinations and the warehouse numbers and attaching the assignment of plant storage locations to warehouse number. That is the first part in the warehouse management. When it comes to the second hierarchy, that is inside the warehouse. Inside, say if we have a 10,000 square feet of warehouse to be constructed, how you are partitioning, how you are identifying each location inside a warehouse. Okay, that is called the number one. We are partitioning the warehouse in terms of storage types. Okay, what is meant by a storage type? Inside a warehouse, say we are partitioning into 2 parts or 3 parts or 4 parts. That is called storage type. Storage type is nothing but the area, the type of the storage of the material inside the warehouse. For example, say inside the warehouse you are keeping small bulk material, for example raw material gases, raw material liquid. Liquid means in terms of, say, those are handled in, say, tote tanks like that. Raw material powder form, raw material packaging or packaging material, like that. We need to identify each storage type. That is nothing but storage type. Grabbing of this item, I am just using a supermarket. Say inside, when you enter a supermarket, there will be some rows inside a supermarket, right? Let us imagine that supermarket as a warehouse, and each row is a storage type. Say I can say row 1 is for grocery, row 2 is for crockery items, row 3 is for, say, other vegetables, like that. So each row is a storage type here. Okay. That means storage type is nothing but the type of material we are storing inside that warehouse. That is called a storage type. Or a section. That is the storage type. Then inside the storage type, say for example, say if you take the vegetables. Again, in vegetables we can define, we can section the type of storage into, we can partition it into n number of sections. Say one is for, say, green vegetables, second is for, say, other easily perishable vegetables, third is for, say, storageable vegetables, like that, freezable vegetables, like that. So we are sectioning that storage type, right? We are partitioning that storage types into n number of sections. That is called a storage section. Okay. By default, every storage type will be having a one storage section. One storage type is called one storage section by default. Okay, that is called storage section. Now, coming to how we are inside the storage section, how we are placing that material. So we do have different types of shelves, right? We have a shelves in each storage section. We are placing in each shelf, we are placing one type of material or two types of material. That each box is called a storage bin. Okay. Say, for example, in one storage section there are say 2 shelves are there. Say in the supermarket, how the items are placed, it will be in the rows, and it will, in each row there will be one shelf, right? One division will be there, so that n number of material can be kept inside that shelves. So the material where we have divided that shelf into boxes and we are keeping our material is called a storage bin. That is called a bin, and we are keeping our material there, so it is called a storage bin. That is called logically speaking, that is the final part of the warehouse management, logically speaking. Again, in terms of system, okay, in terms of SAP, there is one more item called quant. Okay, what is meant by quant? Again, it is a simple, I had clearly mentioned here, like material 1 and material 2. Suppose there is one shelf and we have kept 2 materials in that shelf. I have kept one ball and one glove. Okay, these two are 2 items I have kept in the same shelf. That is called, material 1 is called quant 1 and material 2 is called quant 2. That is, the quant of the identity of the material is called a quant. That is the system generated number inside a warehouse. When we are doing a transaction, a quant is a system generated and it will be identified with respect to a material. I can define like this. When we are keeping n number of materials inside a shelf, that is a storage bin, that is called a number of quants. This is about the organization structure of warehouse management. When we are going to implement an warehouse management inside an organization, first of all we need the main organization, that is the company, controlling area and the company codes. And for this we need to define our plans and storage locations which are to be assigned to the company code. Okay, that is the main hierarchy above this one. Let's say it is above the logistics part. When we come to warehouse management, it starts from here. So we can say warehouse management is the primary, we can say it is the secondary part of SAP configuration. The primary one will be the main organizational unit and the secondary will be the warehouse management. That is the logistics part, which comes in, under the logistics part. So to implement a warehouse management, we need to have a plant, that means total organization structure to be defined inside a SAP. Okay. This is about the warehouse management organizational structure. Okay. Why we are defining this? We are identifying each material with respect to storage bin. That means we are partitioning our warehouse into n number of store according to the storage type, and again in the storage type we are partitioning it into the sections, and in sections we are defining our own bins so that the material can be stored there. And from that, so whenever we receive the material, we will be keeping that material in that respective bin, and when we want to issue that material, that means we want to issue that material to any plant, any other department, we will be taking that material from that storage bin and issuing to that respective department. Okay, this is about warehouse management organizational structure. Okay, this is the latter part. We can see how what are the activities that are being carried out in warehouse. Okay, say stock placement will be there, and stock placement means we are placing the stock inside a warehouse. Okay, how this will be done inside a warehouse. Okay, the second thing is stock removal, how we are removing the stock from the warehouse. Okay, these are the two parts, how the stock we are keeping the stock inside a warehouse, and how we are removing the stock from a warehouse. These are the two parts that will be covered in this warehouse management. And there will be some other parts which we can say is, say, in the top portion I had mentioned what are the parts that I will be covering. The features of the warehouse, then the interfaces, how this warehouse is interfaced with other modules, for example module. Okay, as I said earlier, the warehouse starts from the inventory management. It is the next step of inventory management, that is the interface with module. Then say how it is interfaced with model. Say when we are receiving the goods, how we will be receiving the goods inside a plant? We will be receiving the goods against a purchase order, right? So when we receive the goods against a purchase order, that is the end of model. Then from that point the WM model will start. How those, where to keep that material and how these material are to be moved to that particular storage bin, that is part of WM. That is the integration of MM to WM. That is the first interface. The second is with quality system. Say we have received the material inside the plant, whether those are quality, means whether the inspection is to be carried out on this material, that means whether the material is physically okay or not, that we will be seeing inside, we will be keeping a quality inspection in place. And how they, so for quality inspection there will be a separate bin will be defined, how this will be carried out, that will be the quality to WM interface. The third will be production to WM. So when we talk about production is nothing but the area where the actual products are happening, the manufacturing of actual products. So for manufacturing any product, we require some raw material or packaging material, etc. So we will be supplying the raw material to the production storage location. That is called goods issue from the warehouse management. That is the third interface. Then number 4 is interface with the sales module. Okay, how interface means, so when we are issuing the goods to the customer, we are issuing the goods from the final product storage locations to the customer. Say if that final product storage location is a WM managed, there is an interface with SD module. Those are the interfaces. Okay, so these are the various interfaces that WM has with other modules. That is the part of MM and WM course. Okay, in due course it will take say 30 to 35 classes, 35 hours you can say. In that one we will be covering the interface part. Then structure we have discussed it in detail now. Then there will be WM processes, means what are the warehouse management processes. Say how the stock will be moved from bin to bin, one location to other location. These are all the parts of the WM process. Then the very important thing is the storage unit management and handling unit management. Say you might have seen it in many cases. Suppose we are receiving a material, you might be receiving a material in terms of boxes or cartons like that. Okay, how this will be managed, that is called a storage unit management or handling unit management. Okay, there is a slight difference between SUM and HUM, that is storage unit management and handling unit management. That is also covered in this training session. The last one will be the radio frequency. Say we are using radio frequency guns. For example, when we enter in, again I am taking the example of supermarket. They will be reading the barcode with the help of radio frequency gun, right? They will be scanning that barcode so that that will be read by that gun, and the billing will be processed. So how this is happening inside a warehouse management? We will be discussing about how the radio frequency will be working. Okay, it requires a lot of what we can say is developments. When we enter into the real-time scenario, it requires a lot of developments for the radio frequency. Apart from that, there is a regular normal what we can say standard menu that it can be defined in the WM, that I will be giving means a small session will be on that radio frequency for user menu. Okay, these are all the areas which where the WM part will be covered. Okay, and this is various there are various types of stock placements and various types of stock removal. In which area, in which place we can use this placements or stock removals process, that will be discussed in detail in the later sessions. Okay. Say, I had just given the pictorial view of the storage bin. We can say this is the total one is called the storage type. This is a storage section, and in this is called one storage bin, and inside a bin I am storing two types of materials. These are called three types of material. These are called quants. Yeah. So that is the overview of the WM. Okay. When we go into detail, say if I open SAP, we have a little part that is means it can be seen as a little part, but it is a when we speak about WM, it is a complex configuration, we can say. Okay, for this configuration I had say created one Excel sheet where that is easy for tracking, for configuration, and we can use that Excel sheet as a tracker for this WM management configuration. So from here, okay, from here the WM part configuration, the main part will be starting. So we will be covering the master data. Master data is nothing but the defining of the number ranges, storage types, etc. And there will be strategies. That's what I said. Say what are the stock removal types and what are the stock keeping types, that is put away and picking. Okay, that will be discussed in the strategies. Hazardous material we are not covering because it is not part of WM. It is a part of some other module. Okay, they had you kept it here. Okay, but we can have a brief session on that one, hazardous material. Then there will be activities. This is the important part of WM. After master data and strategies, this is the main important, how we will be transferring the material. That is, the activities are carried out inside a warehouse. That will be covered in this activities. Then these are all value added service cross-talking or advanced versions of WM. We are not covering this one. Then there will be interfaces. When we talk about interfaces, how it is interfaced with inventory management, how it is interfaced with SD module, that is shipping. Okay. Then production, quality, and there is one more thing called stock transfer for Kanban. That is one of the topic, a burning topic in the present scenarios. That is Kanban production, like that. That we will be discussing. After this, we have some specific internal, say specific what we can say warehouse management topics that are not part of this one, but I will be covered with respect to say shipping and transportation. This is the LE part. I will be covering the specific parts, and then we will be going to mobile data entry, where that is radio frequency menu management can be taking place here. Okay, I will show you this menu management. Okay, this is a simple, say on the whole this is only 6 topics, but it is a very complex thing to understand. So it is taking 30 days or 30 hours time for completion of this course. when we talk about MM, it consists of many sections. For example, MM consultant will be doing only purchasing or consumption based. When we talk about WM, he should start from inventory management. Okay, he should be aware of what is happening in inventory management.
So that's part of RM also.
That means I am not saying you need to learn total MM model, but you need to have some idea of the inventory management. What is meant by goods receipt? What is meant by goods issue? These things you should be aware. What is meant by physical inventory? What is meant by moment type? These are all the 4 topics that are minimum to start with the WM. If you are aware of these 4 types, what I said is goods receipt, goods movement, goods issue, or other goods movements, and movement type, and physical inventory. If you are aware of this section, then it is not that complex to understand WM also. It will be very easy.
Okay.
Okay. I think you are already undergone with trying with MM model, so it will be easy to you. No problem. Okay. So only thing why I am saying it is a complex thing is, say like I said, there will be so many storage types and storage locations inside a warehouse, right? So for defining those things inside a system is a little tedious job. So you need to have a specific track record for maintaining all this. That is the only thing I am saying. It is a complex.